Well, hello, and welcome to day one of the MINDTRX challenge, where all the paraliminals are playing around the clock to help you get rid of annoyances in your life and achieve your hopes and dreams. And what a great way to start the year. Right, Carl?
Oh, yes, Mr. Bissonette. Thanks for having me on again. And I'm so excited, truly, for everyone joining us right now. The next 5 days are going to be truly extraordinary for you. And what an incredible way to start the new year. I'm excited to be here.
Exactly. And I'm Pete, not Mr. Bissonette, Mr. Harvey. So I'm from MINDTRX, and Carl is back on the MINDTRX challenge for two reasons. One, the first is that Raymond Aaron, who was scheduled to be co-host, is sick with a wicked cough. And then two, Carl was such a hit the last time he was on the challenge that we asked him to fill in for Raymond, and he said,
Yes. Sign me up. I love the paraliminals.
yeah, exactly. So Carl's all about helping you reprogram your subconscious mind for success, for manifestation, for prosperity, for living the big life. And as a matter of fact, last Friday, he hosted the Reignite Your Life Masterclass with Jack Canfield. And from what I hear, Carl, it was a massive success.
It was incredible. And what an honor for me, someone who for a decade and a half has been studying Mr. Canfield's work. The opportunity to work with him, host a training. And yes, it was incredibly successful, both in terms of the huge amounts of value we gave and also the offer that we did for Jack. Incredible. So the feedback was great. We had thousands of people live, and I was very, very humbled for such an opportunity. And, naturally, I was a bit nervous before we went live. We had more than 6,000 people registered to attend. So just before, when the nerves kicked in, I listened to the Living the Law of Attraction Paraliminal, true story, with Dr. Paul Sheely and Jack himself. It's about 20 minutes, one of my all-time favorite paraliminals. And it just guided me into the most confident, high vibrational state imaginable. And with that energy, I took it to go live in front of 6,000 people. And I must say, if I didn't do that before, it would have been a lot tougher, a lot more challenging. So that's just one of my favorite paraliminals. But yeah, it was great to work with Jack, and to use the paraliminal before I went on. It's just perfect.
Wonderful. So Jack's going to be on with us during a live event sometime in March. So keep an eye on your MINDTRX app, and you'll find out when he's going to be with us. So we're here this week to reignite your life using the paraliminals and MINDTRX. So Carl, would you give us an overview of how they work? Because there's a whole lot of new people on with us today.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. Very briefly, paraliminals are by far the number one creative visualization, manifesting tool, and guided visualization or meditation specifically to work on your subconscious mind. So I've been using paraliminals near daily for, over a decade and a half now. And they work in a number of ways. Number one is one of my favorite things. They've got the holosync brainwave entrainment technology behind them, supporting it. So what this means is all you do is listen, and this brainwave entrainment technology, which is scientifically proven, it plays with your brainwaves and effectively puts you into deeper states of being. Like you go from the beta waves, the waking brainwave state, to alpha waves, theta waves, delta waves, even deeper. And these are the states of mind, as I'm sure you know by now, that are associated with enhanced creativity, a connection to what some people call the Christ consciousness, feeling connected to everything in the universe. Creativity goes up. You get the flashes of insight. So the first thing to understand is you've got this technology behind the scenes that puts you in a deeply, almost Zen meditation state effortlessly, even if you struggle with meditation. But that's just the start, because the 40 plus or so paraliminals, which you get access to this week as well, which is incredible.
60 plus.
Is it 60 plus
60
now?
60 plus, yeah.
Oh, wow, 60. Come on. Yeah, they're all incredible. But in short, there is a paraliminal for any goal or intention or dream you have, and also for any block, challenge, limiting belief, or area of life that you're stuck. You'll be able to find a paraliminal. And what I've been doing and encouraging my friends, family, and clients to do for years now is pretty much every day you ask yourself, what's the biggest outcome I want to manifest today? Like, what's today all about? Is it a money-making day? Is it a business day? Is it a love and relationships day, etc.? Or is it the day where I finally deal with this big problem or challenge that's been holding me back? Based on your answer there, there's literally a paraliminal for every outcome in life that you want. But you pick one, you put your headphones on, and all you do is listen. And it's either the legendary Dr. Paul Shealy, who is a global master of whole brain learning, of communicating with your subconscious mind, or it's Paul and a special guest like Jack Canfield or Bob Proctor, etc. So you listen, you have one voice will come into your left ear, one voice will come into your right, and all you do is let go. You can pay attention to the voices or you can let them wash over you. But I promise you, by the end of the 20-ish minutes of listening, literally every time you listen, your vibration will be up, you'll get creative ideas, you'll have a sense of belief and certainty, and in short, you'll know exactly what to do to achieve your goal for the day, and it will feel inspired, easy, effortless. In short, Paraliminals are the number one personal growth tool on earth. All you do is listen, and they work both at the conscious and the subconscious level. They're brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. So, and then if you don't know which paraliminal to use, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can explore the app and you'll find the paraliminals, or you can take the lazy man's way, which is more often than not my way, and that is do the paraliminal of the day. So every day at the top of the app, there is a paraliminal that we present. Do that one if you don't know which other one you want to do. So what's your challenge for the week? What's your goal? What are you trying to deal with? What do you want to get out of this week? Because when you declare it now, it will happen as you go through the week. So Carl, folks have been writing in with their goals and aspirations. Should we read some of them so people will know what other people are doing?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great idea. Give people clarity and inspiration, perhaps. But I want to give a huge shout out now to the MINDTRX Paraliminals and Learning Strategies community, because I mean, you're all playing full out already, and it is the perfect time of the year. I mean, it's always the perfect time of the year to do a paraliminal.
Oh yeah,
true
it really
story.
is. Yeah,
But you know, we're just starting the second week of the year, and if you're anything like me, the first week there's a lot of family time and sort of easing yourself into the year. Now we get a fresh start, so I think it's brilliant timing. Big shout out to Pete and the Learning Strategies team for putting on this challenge now. We'll use some of these examples as inspiration for you, but simply ask yourself over the next 5 days or even sooner, what would have to happen for me to have the most abundant, brilliant, incredible start to the year? And you reverse engineer it from there. But to give you some help, I mean, with so many people have written in, a big shout out to Dot. Dot says this week, her goal for the challenge is more happiness and more clarity over what she wants. Brilliant. Miravel wrote, I want to lose weight. Oh, we've got a few paraliminals that can help with that as well. Kevin said, oh, this is brilliant. He did the challenge last year. He said, I've lost 15 pounds since learning about MINDTRX and paraliminals last spring. I've got 10 pounds to go. The paraliminals have helped me in so many ways. And yes, I'm losing weight, but most importantly, I'm getting in more exercise and I'm eating better. Yes, I even read labels on the food now. And most of my meals are not made from processed foods. Brilliant. And one more, Pete, before I hand back to you. Athena in South Africa said, I love these paraliminals because it makes it so much easier to not have the monkey mind when trying to meditate. I mean, who here can relate to that? You say, oh, I'm going to be good this year, or today I'm going to meditate. But as soon as you sit down, the voice in your head doubles down and starts talking louder and saying, oh, we got to do this. This is a problem. We need to fix this. If you can relate in any way to that, one of the myriad benefits of paraliminals is your mind will just quieten automatically as you listen. And Athena also adds, the paraliminals always leave me feeling more positive. And as someone who's done one of these near enough a day for 15 plus years, I assure you, every time I put a paraliminal on, 20 minutes later, doesn't matter what stage I started out at, I'm in a higher vibe, more confidence, more belief, more inspired, happier, more fulfilled, and excited to go and do whatever I have to do next. So Athena finishes by saying all the paraliminals have benefits, and I couldn't agree more.
Excellent, wonderful. So Lance wrote, I want to release all the old programming and emotions that have been keeping me stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Shiva wrote, clarity on my life purpose. Thomas wrote, developing a success mindset to achieve my business goals. I had a lousy 2023, and I know 2024 will be better because of the support I'm getting from the paraliminals. Friends have told me about them, and now I will be using them. Carl, that speaks to exactly what you were talking about.
Well, I was about to say, mate, Thomas, shout out to your friends because you've got good friends and I sincerely mean this because I put so many of my boys who I'm from a place just outside London called Essex, which is not known necessarily for its spiritual enlightenment, typically. So the guys I grew up with are quite rough around the edges. Uh, I mean, at least 12, probably 14 years. They've been listening like me to Paraliminals every day. So number one, big shout out to Thomas's friends for putting you on this. And I also, look, one thing I'll address is rather than labeling 2023 as lousy, I mean, listening to some of the Paraliminals like Belief or the Self-Esteem Supercharge or creating new behavior, the new behavior generator is another one for reframing that, or the new history generator Paraliminal for reframing that. But at the same time, I admire that you want to have a bigger, better 2024. And I must say, mate, you're in the right place because Thomas, if all you do is listen to one Paraliminal a day, or if you double results, one in the morning, one at night, you will absolutely, and I would say easily, effortlessly be led this year to have a bigger, more boss, more abundant 2024 without expending tons of energy or the dreaded hard work and struggle. The results compound every time you listen. So again, big shout out to Thomas and Thomas's friends for getting him on the Paraliminals, because they really do seemingly work like magic.
Yeah, wonderful. So one more before I turn it back to you. Lord wrote, attract and maintain a loving relationship.
Yeah, that's what I did to meet my lady. For sure. So yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Can I share a couple more?
Yep.
What people have written in? 'Cause we've got loads. Beryl, shout out to Beryl. She wrote, I'm so happy to be able to do this challenge again. Yay. I've used the Paraliminals consistently over the last few months, which is great. But now this is a chance for me to reset, recharge, and move on to even greater success. Oh, Sue, also, Sue's written in, because it doesn't have to be a moving towards goal, although those are great. You know, you want to make 6 or 7 figures this year. You want to set up a passion business, for example. But this is all, Paraliminals are great for dealing with challenges and blocks in your life. So Sue, for example, says, look, I really want to use the Paraliminals this week to learn to manage my anxiety, to lower my anxiety. Now, I've got a friend briefly who is a multi-millionaire, self-made. He grew up in public housing, a council estate, as we call it in England. Incredible man. He's had a lot of challenges this past year, which I won't go into, but he mentioned to me a few times that his anxiety was coming up. And first of all, I was like, you know, such a boss. I didn't know that you would ever suffer from anxiety. So I got him on the MINDTRX app, and the one in particular Paraliminal I inspired him to listen to was Anxiety Free. And this is not just for people with anxiety, by the way. Like on Friday when I had to do the thing with Jack Canfield, I was very confident, but a slight bit of nerves. Anxiety Free would have been an incredible one for me to listen to, because it, as the name suggests, can evaporate or eviscerate any feelings of anxiety in a moment. And that's just the beginning. So Sue, make sure you listen to Anxiety Free, but then you might want to listen to the Belief Paraliminals, which help you compound that belief and to grow it. Self-love, perhaps, and more. And a couple more, Pete, I'll share. Karen in Illinois, she said, I've got a few goals. I like this, detailed. Number 1, get back to meditation. Problem solved. Karen, you'll be doing that right now today. Number 2, sleep better. Oh, you got to listen to Sleep Deeply, Wake Refreshed Paraliminals. Incredible, because I used to get insomnia a lot. This helps a lot. Number 3 is to have more patience. 4, be more accepting. Love it. 5, more productive. Got to listen to the Productivity Supercharger Paraliminal. And 6, a healthier lifestyle. Brilliant. And then one more. Mira wrote in and said, I want to do the challenge this week to help ease my anxiety and to lose weight. And we sort of addressed them then, but anxiety free, perfect weight. Is it perfect weight health? What's the name of the
Ideal weight. Ideal weight, perfect health.
Yeah. See, I mean, I guess luckily I've always been quite skinny. My challenge is putting on muscle weight in the gym. But my friends who have struggled with a bit of weight, they tell me that the ideal weight one has helped them tremendously as well. So brilliant.
And Carl, one thing you may not know is that ideal weight is also useful for gaining weight.
Oh, I did.
Because it's about adjusting your weight by about 1% a week to your ideal weight. And if you're below your ideal weight, the ideal weight will, Paraliminal will help you get to your ideal weight.
Mate, brilliant. I've been listening. Honestly, people, this is why, and yet another reason Paraliminals is so great in this challenge. I have been listening for 15 years, a decade and a half, and not once did I stop to think that ideal weight could mean ideal put on a few pounds weight. So that's what I'll be
Exactly.
doing this afternoon after this. So thanks for that, Pete. Brilliant.
Yeah, you betcha. Okay, so Kayla wrote, get over my hurdle of self-doubt surrounding success. And you know, the one thing about what she's saying there is any of the paraliminals will help. That's one of the cool things about the paraliminals is that you can direct any paraliminal toward whatever goal you have. That's why that paraliminal of the day can be so useful too. It doesn't have to relate directly to what your goal or intention is, but it will still help you get there. It's like I always say, there's a lot of ways to get to Chicago. So
Yeah.
Ricardo wrote, I want to stop these negative voices in my head. Mila wrote, I have so much stress in my life. I'm always worried. I'm hoping the paraliminals will help. Thank you for offering this. I will tell all of my friends.
Yeah,
Rachel
they
from
will
West
definitely help.
Virginia, she wrote, I love the challenge to move me from stuck to unstuck.
Yes. I mean, truly, deeply, and you could get started very soon. And I hope you're enjoying this conversation Pete and I are having, because I mean, Pete and Paul, Dr. Paul Shealy, have changed my life in so many ways over the last 15 years. But in terms of Kayla getting over the hurdle of self-doubt regarding success, I mean, who here can't relate to that? The idea of, you know, I've got to set this big goal, but can I really get it? Do I deserve it? Who am I to dream this big? I think every successful person I've ever met has dealt with this inner conflict. The paraliminals help me more than anything else, truly. And almost any of the paraliminals you pick will increase your confidence, self-belief. And also remember the old adage, nature abhors a vacuum. In other words, God will not tolerate a vacuum in this reality. So if you've got self-doubt, anxiety, negative thoughts going on in your mind, if we create a vacuum, which will happen naturally, automatically, and near instantaneously every time you press play on the paraliminals, you are then guided by Dr. Paul Shealy and his brilliant special guests to replace that vacuum with inspiring, empowering beliefs, thoughts, feelings, and more. And again, all you do is listen. Like literally, you put your feet up. I've got my beautiful girlfriend listening to these now, and she was never short of confidence, but the positive impact it's had of solidifying this certainty and confidence and letting go of any anxiety, self-doubts, worries are brilliant. So Kayla, you're absolutely in the right place. And Ricardo as well, in terms of stopping the negative voices in your head, for sure. Now, we got more that I want to share. For example, Glenn, this is a brilliant intention, by the way, for the 5-day challenge. Glenn says, over the next 5 days, I'd love to attract some new, exciting career opportunities. And Glenn adds that he was laid off from his job a couple of months ago. And lovingly, hallelujah, because when you say no to something that perhaps you didn't love anymore, it creates an opportunity for you to create something that you truly want, desire, and deserve. So by focusing the next 5 days on, I mean, I'd listen to the prosperity paraliminal, the living the law of attraction, the abundant money mindset, the new behavior generator, perhaps, and more. You can absolutely manifest opportunities for the next step in your career that are almost certainly going to be much better suited to you than what you were doing before. Eileen, this is another one I used to suffer from a lot. She keeps waking up in the middle of the night. She wants to sleep better. Sleep deeply, wake refreshed. Incredible. I suffered from insomnia for years and years. No more. Honestly, just listen once and your sleep will be transformed. And one more, Pete, before I hand back over. Marjorie says she wants to increase and raise her creativity this week so I can open the business of my dreams. Yes. I mean, most, if not all of the brilliant paraliminals will help you there. But Marjorie, I would listen to the creativity supercharger. I've made a living as an entrepreneur for the last decade and a half by being creative and conjuring up products and services from my imagination. And I have listened to the creativity supercharger, I mean, hundreds, if not thousands of times. And every time I do, 20 minutes later, when I wake up, I've got new ideas to act on, and I don't have to motivate myself. I just feel inspired to move on them. So creativity supercharger will help you to plan and open the business of your dreams, Marjorie.
So, Carl, you said something that when you finish the paraliminal, when you wake up, you can fall asleep while listening to a paraliminal. See, when you're doing a meditation, you want to be alert and conscious and aware during the meditation. But when you're using a paraliminal, you can let your mind drift and you can fall asleep, and that's okay. And you know that a part of you is still listening because at the end of the paraliminal, when Paul starts to do the countdown to bring you up, you come back into consciousness. So the paraliminals work whether you stay alert or when you fall asleep. So.
Yes, I remember saying to Paul a couple of years ago, actually, and back when I was coming out of my insomnia days, and I said, Paul, actually, one of the great things that you've done for me is that it helps me to fall asleep. Like now, when I listen to the paraliminals, I fall asleep. And he said, you didn't fall asleep. I was like, what do you mean? He said, when I started counting back from 5 to 1, did you not hear that? Did you not wake up? And I was like, oh, I did. He's like, well, you wasn't asleep then, was you? You was just in another state of consciousness. And it just hit me because I really thought I was probably snoring. I thought I was proper snoozing. But then actually, there's a certain level of awareness. And if you've read anything about the subconscious mind and how to influence it, you'll know that you can only impact your subconscious mind when you are in an altered state of consciousness, not when you're wide awake and full of stress and thoughts and ideas. That's why hypnosis, you are guided into a deep state where you almost feel like you're falling asleep. And one of the million brilliant things that you're going to receive this week in this challenge is you'll experience this firsthand, where you are guided into this blissful, peaceful place. And sometimes you might think you're asleep, but again, when Paul guides you back, you'll realize you wasn't. But sometimes you'll listen to the paraliminals and feel like wide awake and alert throughout the whole thing. Other times it will feel like you're snoozing. And other times it might be somewhere in the middle. And this is yet another reason I love the paraliminals, and the way I tricked a lot of my friends and entrepreneur friends into doing this is because it is like a meditation. It is relaxing, yet somewhat paradoxically, it's also incredibly invigorating. And when you come out of the paraliminal, you will have way more energy than you had before, more certainty, and it is that intangible feeling of inspiration, of being guided, of knowing exactly what to do and wanting to do it. Like this is the toughest thing for me to explain. And when you listen in a few moments, hopefully you will totally get what I'm pointing to here, because it is an intangible feeling that you just can do whatever you want to do today and you're going to do it brilliantly. It's an innate self-confidence that comes, again, simply by listening for 20 minutes. These are brilliant. You've got to try it one a day. You'll see.
Yeah. So, Carl, you said that when you finish a paraliminal, you'll come back with more energy, full energy.
Yes.
Some people, after a paraliminal, you may feel a little groggy or a little sleepy. It may take you 5 to 10 minutes before you start to realize the fresh energy that's flowing through you. So if that's happening for you, fantastic. It's like the 10-minute supercharger, one of my favorite paraliminals. It's 10 minutes to totally recharge your body and your mind. But sometimes it takes 10 minutes before you actually feel that recharge after the paraliminal. So if that's for you, great, let it happen.
Yes.
So Veronica from Indiana, she wrote, I want to ease my anxiety and bring more money into our lives. I can really use help. She's in the right spot. Jamie, keep myself from falling into anger.
Oh,
Max, I started listening to paraliminals in October, and I don't get as easily triggered as before. I'm glad I subscribed, and this week I will focus on my self-esteem.
Boom. Yeah, this is brilliant. What an incredible community you've got. And I love how everyone is playing full out and sharing with clarity their intentions, goals, dreams, and desires. So here's a few more. And hopefully for everyone watching now, this will inspire you to set your big, audacious intentions for this week, for the 5-day challenge, and watch what happens when you surrender and let the power of the paraliminals kick in. So Mitch, for example, said, my action goal this week is to get on the phone in his business, calling leads for 60 to 90 minutes daily. Yes. I would also listen to Talking to Win. I mean, the only job I've ever had is selling of some sort or another. I've listened to that one hundreds, if not thousands of times. And I mean, it's incredible for sales structure, confidence, belief, skills, and more. And just the intangible vibration of being a successful salesperson. Talking to Win will be brilliant for you. Polly simply
First
writes.
of all, Carl,
Yes,
Talking to
mate.
Win, Tom McCarthy is co-host for tomorrow. And Tom co-created the Talking to Win Paraliminal with Paul
Yeah.
Shealy.
Oh, you
So
got him
we all get
tomorrow.
to spend time with them tomorrow.
And you got another one of our great friends, Marie Diamond, later in the week, I see, as well as Dr.
Yes,
Paul
yes.
Shealy.
Marie's on Thursday.
Incredible. Incredible. Let's have a little look. Polly wants to become the best version of myself. Brilliant. I mean, it's a very broad intention, but over the next 5 days, you will discover that I truly believe that all the paraliminals will help you to achieve and manifest that intention. Jensen wants to improve their finances, sensational, prosperity, abundant money mindset, and more. The paraliminals I would go to. And then Al, shout out to Al, says, this week I would love to improve my confidence and my focus. Yes. So I would suggest, I mean, there's so many. Fearlessness is a great paraliminal. The belief paraliminals are great. Personal genius, I've found incredibly important, not just for like creative things in my business, but really having a healthy, abundant self-image and believing in myself. And then also, this is a bit of a curveball, Pete, but youthful vitality. So for those days where I wake up, you know, it's been a very cold, dark winter in England, for example, and I'm used to living on the beach in exotic places. So a couple of days I got up and it was a little bit, oh no, it's cold and dark today. Youthful vitality will just make me fall back in love with life again, get that childlike zest for life and that magical energy. I mean, Deepak Chopra and others have spoken in their books that a childlike zest for life is one of the most abundant, prosperous, magnetic, energetic states you can get in. Just that feeling of it. I mean, don't we all love people who are excited and full of enthusiasm? That will help you to do that. So, Al, listen to that, but the belief paraliminals as well. And Pete, what paraliminal or paraliminals would you reckon for focus? Like if I really want to focus and get my work done for today.
Are you ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Focus and concentration.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so going on, excuse me, Debbie wrote, I release negative self-talk, self-doubts, and self-sabotaging behaviors.
Boom.
Jeff wrote, I need help getting started and losing weight. I hope listening to paraliminals will help convince me on a deep level to do whatever it takes to finally lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Every year for the past 20 years, I've gained weight. It has to stop. I'm afraid my heart will give out. I hope that working with my subconscious mind will help make a change in my behaviors.
Wow. What about the new history generator for Jeff there? Would you recommend that one, Pete?
Oh, definitely, because that goes through everything. It can go through anything from your past, emotions from the past, to kind of neutralize them, to bring you into the space so it's easy to move forward. That's session A. Session B of the new history generator, that's one to listen to on your very best days and your very worst days. Because it amplifies, it supports your best days, so it's easier to have them again and again. And then it deals with the emotions and the energies of the worst days. You can listen to them more often, but those are the two to listen to.
Yeah, if I may just add a little bit to that, because I mean, I'm very blessed that I've been working with Pete and Paul for many years now, as well as being a client and a customer for many years before that. And one of the big blocks that I used to have that for years and years was in relation to, I got kicked out of the house when I was young by my father, and I had a lot of issues and beliefs, limiting beliefs around that. And I mean, Paul has been a godsend in so many ways, but by recommending I listen to the new history generator, what he pointed out was like, Carl, even though you're making so much progress, you keep starting conversations with people with the story of, you know, I've had all these challenges in my life. And I say this lovingly, Jeff, in your case, you've said every year for the last 20 years, I've gained weight. Now that may be objectively true, but we have to be very careful because our subconscious mind will take any orders you give it in a spirit of faith and act on those orders. That's direct from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. So number one is we want to start telling a new story. The new history generator will help you with that. And then from there is to focus on what you want. And the ideal weight, for example, will be a perfect paraliminal for you to listen to, but just a slight readjustment of And for everyone watching, be aware of these insidious stories we keep telling that don't serve us. Even if they're true, what we focus on expands. So I would encourage you to look at the positive this week, especially as you've got 60, count them, 60 plus paraliminals to listen to this week.
You learn quickly, Carl.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
I didn't remember the focus one. My bad.
yeah.
Perhaps that's the sign I need to focus. So
Edward wrote, I will write my book. Radcliffe wrote, I'm looking to quiet mind chatter and achieve inner peace. And Carl, we have one more, and this one is for you. It's a beautiful, interesting story, and we're going to be able to send that guy some energy by the time we get to the end of your comment. Reading
is
his
this
comment.
Themis?
Themis, yeah.
Themis in Melbourne, Australia. I used to live.
Yeah.
Well, I used to live in Sydney, but I spent a lot of time in Melbourne. Beautiful place. But Themis. Okay, let's all send Themis some energy. Themis wrote, on December 2nd of last year, I was walking home and I slipped on a metal grid on the footpath. It was dark. It started to rain. Both my tibia and fibula bones were fractured. Oh no. I had an operation in which a rod was inserted into my leg. On regaining consciousness after the operation, I listened to the Recover and Re-Energize Paraliminal. Good. I had a most wonderful and intense experience of recovery up front. Since then, I've been doing Recover and Re-Energize Paraliminal and some others like Perfect Health. Oh, the 5 Elements Healing Paraliminals. Excellent. On a daily basis. I'm going back to hospital on Monday today. Okay, so we definitely send some love to hopefully have the moon boot taken off and return to normal. The paraliminals have been a wonderful resource for me to cope with the stresses and strains caused by the injury. I'm such a big fan of the paraliminals and have benefited greatly from them over the last 5 years or even more. Thank you very, very much. I wholeheartedly recommend the paraliminals and learning strategies to anyone who loves life and is interested in improving all aspects of life. Wow. Wonderful. Themis, send you all the love. Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. So, and be sure to let us know what happens too. How do these next few days go? Keep us posted through the week. So, y'all have heard a lot of the cool stories from people and what they're intending to do for this week. So hopefully that's giving you some clarity too. And if you don't really have a whole lot of clarity, don't worry, because when you listen to that first paraliminal and it's Paul Sheely starts to ask you questions about your intentions, that will help you get clarity on what you want. So when you have your goals, write them down. And so you can stay focused on them through the week. And this is going to help you create and make the best year ever. And if you share with us what's going on, either through the Facebook page or through the online survey that we send you in the reminder email, you might just win a 1-year subscription to MINDTRX. As a matter of fact, in a couple of minutes, Carl, you get to announce today's first winner.
Oh, I do I? Oh,
yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yay. Lovely.
So when you know what you want to get from this week, or if you don't, scan through the list of paraliminals and select one that interests you. Use your intuition. It might just help you with your challenge. Then tap on it and it'll begin to play immediately. And you can simply do the paraliminal of the day, like I've said many times. It's a great way to step into the paraliminals. So Carl, you've done so well with the paraliminals. Any secrets that you want to share with folks to help them get more benefit from using the paraliminals this week?
Yeah, great question. The good news is, beautiful people, the very biggest secret or secret strategy I could possibly share with you is simply to go in the app and press play at least once today. And that's it. I've been blessed that I probably used paraliminals for 5 or 6 years before I did any sort of work or even knew Pete or Dr. Paul Sheely. And I'm just using them in my life. And in that time, 22, 23, quit having a real job in the city in London, set up my own business, traveled the world, living on the beaches, doing all these incredible things before I ever recommended or sold a paraliminal to anyone outside my immediate circle. And I will tell you what I told my best friend going back 15 years, which is, bruv, just press play and listen, and I'll talk to you in 20 minutes. And I swear this was the only way I could trick him into doing it, because, again, the Essex boys, he's like, what, meditation, visualize? What are you talking about? I was like, let's just talk in 20. So truly, the best advice I could give you is make a decision that for the next 5 days, you're going to listen at least once a day. Now, if you want to double up and compound exponentially your results, I'd encourage you to listen once in the morning as soon as you wake up, and then once just before bed. A couple of reasons for that. Number one is it will start and end your day in such a high vibration that it will be inescapable that these benefits are coming from MINDTRX and listening to the paraliminals. But also your subconscious mind is much more open first thing in the morning, last thing at night, as you're coming out of sleep or going into sleep. Again, that's to do with the brain waves. The good news is, even if you've got to listen bang in the middle of the day or just before a meeting, the brainwave entrainment, the holosync, it does the work. So the biggest thing is make a decision for, big shout out to Pete Bissonette and the team at Learning Strategies for giving you access to all of these week-long so that you can pick and choose and listen to what you feel inspired to. But best advice, listen at least once a day, ideally twice. And then the second thing I'll share with you is, and this is a slight rearranging of, I think, one of Tony Robbins' favorite quotes or ideas, which is most people vastly overestimate what they can achieve in a year, but vastly underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. I want to apply that to 5 days. And right now, I assure you, what it is possible for you to achieve in 5 days listening to these is way beyond your current level of expectation, excitement, and more. So dream a little bigger. Ask yourself, like, for example, what was the biggest week from last year that you can remember? Like, what happened? What has to happen for you to know with absolute certainty this week is even bigger, better, more abundant, more glorious than the best week I had last year? Success leaves clues, and the best thing we can do is to look at that and go, right, what's a clue to my success abundance? The most powerful week I had. What would be even better than that? And just hold that as your intention for this week, and then let go. Enjoy it. One final thing I'll say is you don't have to change anything consciously with the paraliminals. So, for example, Friday, Reignite Your Life, Jack Canfield, sold 500 million books, big famous guy. I was a little bit excited / nervous. I did the best thing I could have done. 20 minutes before I start, I listened to Living the Law of Attraction Paraliminal with Dr. Paul Shealy and Jack. And when I come out of that, half of my problems or things I'm worried about are already solved. I'm inspired. I'm ready to go. And then I take immediate action. So I guess the fourth bit of advice is set yourself up so that you have a little bit of time after you've done the paraliminal to take action on the new ideas, insights, ahas, and inspirations you will inevitably receive. And I'll finish with number 5, which is have fun. Enjoy this week. The more fun you have, the better results you're going to get.
Wonderful. Absolutely. I agree completely. So, Carl, let's announce the winner. So before we went live, I used the old random number generator to have the drawing. So, Carl, who won the 1-year subscription to MINDTRX?
I'm just bringing it up right now. And Pete assures me this is a random number generator. So let's see who's the lucky winner. We have got, and they've won a 1-year subscription to MINDTRX. Priceless. The winner is Veronica Edwards from Indiana. Veronica Edwards from Indiana. Congratulations. You've won a year.
Yeah, fantastic.
Paraliminals. Boss.
So Veronica Edwards, send us an email to customerservice@mindtrax.com and we'll get you set up. That's customerservice@mindtrax.com. You should be hearing from us, but just in case, send us the email. And that email address is also something to keep in mind. If you ever have any questions as you're using the app or as you're using paraliminals, we'll try to give you as much customer service as we possibly can to help in order to get out of the paraliminals whatever it is that you want and you need. And periodically we do live streams, Q&A with Coach Wendy. We have one, I think, coming up Wednesday. So there might be, I think there's one coming up on Wednesday. So you can always send in questions and she will be addressing the questions that you may have as far as how to use the paraliminals or how to get whatever your goal is, how to bring that into your life. So she's kind of like a Carl that you have access to on a more regular basis.
Lovely. And if I may add a little something, for anyone who's curious or a little bit uncertain, learning strategies are a beautiful, brilliant, loving, almost family-like company. They've been around for nearly 40 years now, have helped millions and millions of people. And I was a customer first and foremost for many years before I did any sort of work with Pete or Paul or any of their incredible authors. And I will say this, they look after you like family. They are beautiful, market leading, incredible. And I was lucky enough to visit Minnesota a couple of times and meet the team behind the scenes, each one more lovely than the last. And the reason I'm sharing this is sometimes, especially online, you might have a little uncertainty or not sure who's going to be looking after you. I just want to take a moment to really reassure you, these guys are the best of the best. They will look after you like family. I'm sure you pick up that vibe from Pete and Paul and anyone else you've had contact with. But they are invested in your success in every way. And frankly, there's not another company on earth that looks after people the way that Learning Strategies does. So I just wanted to share that. And Pete did not ask me to say that.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Appreciate that.
I mean it, mate.
Yeah, and every bit of it is true.
Yeah, hallelujah. Yes, it is.
Okay, so if you'd like to find out more about Carl, we'll be sending out an email after the MINDTRX challenge is over, and we will give you Carl's link, and he'll have a free offer. Do you remember what we're going to do? The same thing from last fall. Do you remember what it was? I don't.
I remember that you strong-armed me into giving away about $2,000 worth of goodies to your people, and I'm more than thrilled to do the same. I will send a link where I'll give you some of my best stuff, trainings, visualizations, etc., as a gift to say thank you for watching. But I must say that so much of what I've learned, if not all of it, has come from Pete and Dr. Paul Sheely, and the lessons, insights I've learned from them. And one further thing, I know now I probably come across as very confident and full of positive energy, and I am. But I want to reiterate that, especially when I first met Pete and Paul and started listening to Paraliminals, I was as far opposite as you could get. Like I was a broken man. I kicked out of my house. I was almost suicidally depressed, like very, very dark depression. And I never believed I could be successful. I had the worst limiting beliefs that you probably couldn't believe now, but I was certain I would never be successful, make money, have a beautiful woman, etc. Listening to the Paraliminals changed my life more than anything else. And the fact that you get a week to play with these on your own volition when you feel inspired, you'll be able to get a sense of it for yourself. So I absolutely encourage you, especially at the start of the year, to really make a decision, a conscious decision, to listen to as many as you can listen to this week. And assuming your results are as transformational as they are for me, then yeah, make sure you sign up for a year with the app. It is incredible. It's my favorite app. It's on the home screen. I'll show you that right there. Pride of place. It's this one here, this blue one. You see that right there on the home screen, so that, you know, if I start scrolling on my phone rather than going on YouTube or Instagram, I see that and it's like, okay, I'll listen to a Paraliminal first. So yes. Yeah. Make sure you get it installed.
And do come back tomorrow. Tomorrow, our guest host will be Tom McCarthy. He's a best-selling author, world-renowned expert and thought leader in leadership, communications, peak performance. And as we talked about before, he created the two MINDTRX Paraliminals, one Talking to Win, and the other one is Peak Performance. And one of the cool things about those two Paraliminals is that each one has a session A and a session B. So it's like it gives you that 1-2 for whatever your goal or your intention is. So play with them between now and tomorrow when you're leaving your message on Facebook or in the survey that's in your reminder email. Let us know what you think about the Talking to Win and the Peak Performance, because then we can read those comments to Tom tomorrow. I think he's going to appreciate that. But also, you're going to learn a lot from him. So you learned a lot from Carl Harvey. You'll learn a lot from Tom tomorrow. Then we have Marlene Siegel. She's a veterinarian, an amazing soul. You're going to love her take on the Paraliminals and how you can actually use Paraliminals to help your pets. Marie Diamond, she'll be here on Thursday. Diamond Feng Shui, Diamond Dowsing, an amazing woman from The Secret. And on Friday, Paul Shealy will be back with us too. So we got a great week here for you. So do come back. And before we bug off, if you're new to what we're doing in MINDTRX, watch the tutorials at the bottom of the home screen if you'd like. Or you could just start with the paraliminal of the day. That's probably what I would do. And then after that, take a look at the tutorials, and that'll tell you, help you navigate the app a little bit more easily.
What's the paraliminal of the today, Pete?
Well,
the day today, what we got?
I don't know. Let's see what it is.
10-minute supercharger, yes.
Ah,
All right, so this is brilliant.
Yeah.
So Paul used to tease me, Dr. Paul Shealy, because I had the full collection for about 10 years before I ever listened to this one once. And the reason why was because I love paraliminals so much, but most of them are about 20 minutes, as I mentioned. Yeah. For some reason, I just thought 10 minutes, there's no way it will work. And I felt bad. I didn't want it not to work, so I didn't listen to it. And then once I really only had 10 minutes and I was in such a low vibration. I was stressed, overwhelmed, and I needed to be world-class peak performance. I thought, what have I got to lose? I'll give it a go. And I swear from the bottom of my heart, that 10 minutes, it is astonishing what it can do to your vibration, belief, confidence, inspiration, and more. Yeah, it's ludicrous. And in fact, go listen to that one, 10 minutes, and then pick another one. Invest 30 minutes in yourself today. Prosperity, living the law of attraction, abundant money mindset. The reason I mentioned these, and Pete certainly hasn't asked me to do this, this is probably not officially allowed. I would love, from my side, for you to manifest enough money, abundance, prosperity this week to pay or to invest in the year program in MINDTRX 10x and then some. So listen to a couple of the money ones so that you naturally attract and manifest money this week. And so it becomes even more of a no-brainer for you to get big results and be able to do this day after day, year round, because that's the key. The consistency is key. Dr. Maxwell Maltz in Psycho-Cybernetics, Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, Wallace D. Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich. All of these great authors have all pointed to a same truth. A truth that John Assaraf, working with the top neuroscientists in the world, reiterates now, and that is your subconscious mind needs to be impressed daily in order to change dramatically. And that's why this 5-day challenge is great. And I just want you to stop and imagine, especially once you've had a little listen today, is where's my life going to be? My energy, my confidence, belief, money, success, and more when I listen to one of these a day over a year. And I promise you, it is the best time, energy, and certainly money you can invest in your personal growth. And you get a week for free to try it. So you experience it yourself. Just have fun this week, aim big, really enjoy it, and show up to as many of these interviews and trainings as you can, because Pete's organised some world-class guests. And yeah, they're really looking after you.
Well, thank you, Carl. Thank you for that. And thank you for sharing everything that you did and for inspiring the users of MINDTRX. That's fantastic. Really, really appreciate that. And also for jumping in at the last minute. I mean, I texted you on Saturday morning. I said, Carl, we got a problem. Raymond's not feeling well. He has a wicked cough. Can you join us on Monday? And within seconds, you texted back and said, absolutely. So I really appreciate that. I know everybody here appreciates that. And Raymond appreciates that. When you,
big shout out to Raymond, bless him.
Yeah, so when you see Raymond next time, he'll be giving you a big hug. So, and so thank you, everybody.
I humbly accept, I receive.
Okay. Thanks, everybody at home, for being here. Have a wonderful MINDTRX challenge, an amazing year, and we'll be back again tomorrow.
Before they go listen to a paraliminal right now, they're magic. You're going to love it.
Exactly.